All right, my people, my friends, everybody watching this video. This was a long time coming, honestly, and I'm mainly doing this video because I feel like a lot of people in my comment section and a lot of people that watch my videos aren't really with the type of way that I scale and the metas I use for how I get exactly to where I get with my takes. And this is a special case for Ren and Sai, where I do have a lot of people in my comment section like, whoa, you think Ren is over Sai? Sai is literally the best in Gen 11. He's like, hey, there's no way Ren could be over him. I'm not gonna hold you. For this one video, I just want you to clear your head. I just want you to clear your head and just listen to me. I promise you, by the end of this video, if I can't convince you that the power creep and blue lock every single arc is insane, then hey, look, by all means, smack me in the face, throw some hot Cheetos in there, and wash it down with some Pepsi, alright? So, with that, let's get right into it, right? So, first, I'm going to go over every single arc where there's a power creep, right? So first, let's go on first selection, because it starts from the start of the series, by the way. At first selection, the power creep isn't that bad, right? But there is a power creep. And this is specifically for when they play Team V, where like, honestly, and this is something that's shown to us episode Nagi, so we're very clear about it. Team V, literally, compared to every other team, Team V literally power creeped everybody, right? And this is just like pretty self-explanatory when we get Nagi just absolutely dominate their team. And you know, the power creep is kind of really funny to me because before that they were actually competing with a lot of teams. They were competing with Team W. They couldn't compete with Team X because, you know, Barrow's a demon. Barrow is the outlier. But in first selection, this starts with Nagi, right? Nagi is that power creep because he's just not touchable by any means necessary. And the only reason that he loses is because Team Z starts working as a team, and I kid you not, besides Rails on Tetsu and Nagi, they had nobody else, right? And even then, Nagi was still destroying them. Like, even though they won the game, it was very clear Isagi knew he was not close to Nagi. Everybody on the field was not close to Nagi, and that's where it starts. And you know what? I don't have a problem with the first selection power creep. The first selection power creep isn't bad. But then we get the second selection power creep. And I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm referring to the one and only Renitoshi. He came in, and I kid you not, was #1 for the entire arc. There is no instance besides Isagi's little play against Bachira where he surpassed him. And even then, he really didn't even surpass him. Ren came into second selection leagues above them. And by the way, they barely even closed the gap. Nagi and Isagi had a few instances of beating Ren that aren't very consistent. They would beat Ren, and then Ren would literally just level up again. Or not even, I wouldn't even say level up. He would just start trying a little harder and then just beat them into submission. Like, it was to the point where he was shooting from the halfway line and they were literally astounded. They were astounded by this. Now, again, this is a bit more higher case because first selection Nagi, at least they were somewhat able to touch him, somewhat. But Ren, I kid you not, for the first game they played him, wasn't touchable. And for half of the second game, he was untouchable. And I'd honestly argue that by the end of the game, it's still pretty clear that Ren is still leagues above everybody else. Yes, Isagi and Ren have, I say, a relative brain by the end of second selection, but it's very clear that Ren is the one with the better individual abilities, and he can get more done by himself. And, you know, with his puppeteer playstyle, he was definitely capable of using his teammates better than Isagi was, right? And, you know, the power creep in third selection is barely even there. Honestly, I'll give King Shiro that. And third selection is not really there. Shido is pretty relative with Ren, so there is no real power creep. You know, at that point, Ren's just established to be the best. And then we get the power creep in the U20 arc. which is Saitoshi. Saitoshi is the catalyst for that power creep. Nobody could touch Saitoshi for that entire game. But by the end of the game, I want everybody to know a interesting fact. By the end of the game, where I think Saitoshi is unironically playing at a way higher gear than he was at the start, Ren and his flow state was able to touch him, right? And this is where I say this is a special case where a character catches up to that power creep and it's Ren. Nobody else besides Ren on an individual level caught up to that power creep on Sai's level, right? And, you know, you can give the argument that Sai's not trying, oh, this and that and the third. Regardless, Ren was the only one to actually catch up to that power creep, that Sai, that threshold that Sai put down. You could say Isagi got there, but honestly, he might have indirectly did it instead of directly going against Sai, because again, we saw what happened when Isagi went against Sai head on. He got annihilated, and it wasn't close. And it was clear that, you know, they just cannot touch Sai. Another, I will say, in the U20 arc, Shido is a lot more prominent, and he does kind of power creep all the blue lockers besides Ren and Isagi, honestly, for that matter, and Ryo, because Ryo honestly came in and did his thing. I'm not even going to, he came in and did his thing. But the main part of this video, honestly, which I'm very happy to get to now, is the new Egoist League. Now, what's so special about the new Egoist League is that at the start, we already get all of these players that power. Yeah, guys, come on, you gotta agree with me. Bastard Munchin, all of the starters and reserves power creep the hell out of the blue lockers badly. The only person that, I kid you not, at the start of the Neo Egoist League, before they play any games, was competing, was Kunigami. And that was because Kunigami's body was physically fit to already be on that world-class level. Now, why I'm saying this is so impressive is because Kunigami physically should be over everybody in the U20 game. Everybody, including Sai. Because by that point, he's already on that world-class stage level, and his physicals are being compared to Noah, right? And at the start of the new Egoist League, the power creep gets worse every game for the U20 players. When I'm talking about U20 players, I'm referring to Sai, U20 Flow State Run, and Isagi for that matter, right? All of them get power creeped by time the end of the Bastard Munchin game. Because Kaiser, Noah, and Lavinio and Kunigami are doing things and have stats that are exceedingly higher than what I'd say the U20 players are doing. And I feel like they have a substantial amount of feats to prove that, honestly. And on top of that fact, it's kind of just like this narrative thing that the state of play goes up every single arc. First selection, state of play went up. Second selection, state of play went up. Third selection, state of play went up. U20 NEL, the state of play is going up. Only difference with the new Egoist League is that there were more games. So players continue to evolve constantly at a phenomenal rate every single game. So by the Manshine game with Bastard, and you're trying to tell me that Sai is going to, like, man, I gotta take a deep breath because I'm so passionate about this. But Sai and U20 Flow State Ren are still going to be able to keep up with 5 stages of Evolver Nagi, which has literal world-class statements of he was literally starting to be glazed by Real, the media, and on top of that, he was glazed by Isagi, as that was like the greatest goal, like a phenomenal goal. Now, although Nagi can't reproduce that, it's clear in that game he was better than both of them. Isagi is also a clear state of that. Majority of the players in that game were already playing at a world-class level. By the way, in the U20 game, I think the only person that was even hinted to be playing at a world-class stage level was Sai. And he does get that little narrative boost in the new Egoist League with him having Metavision maybe. But by time Manshine and PXG play, and we get Nagi's statement about Ren being way better than he was in the U20, and Nagi was also there when he tapped into destroy mode and destroyed the team, and he still gives that statement that this version of Ren not even his strongest version by the end of NEL, by the way, is way stronger than the U20 version, right? So basically, what I'm getting at is I think it's hard to you keep putting these players like Psy and these like older versions of these players on these pedestal levels where as time goes on and their development improves and they continue to grow way stronger every game and the improvement is phenomenal. I think we should just stop LARPing and kind of just come to a conclusion that yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're gapping these versions of themselves. They literally went on a a a 90-day, I'm pretty sure it was 90-day training arc before the U20 World Cup arc, and you're telling me you don't think that they're beating their Neo Eagles League versions when we have Ren mastering his impulses, we have Isagi learning about soccer around the world, we have all of these players doing these different things to improve their game styles, and you're telling me you don't think that there's not a realm of the possibility that they're better than their Neo Eagles League selves? Come on, bro. What are we talking about? Now, Nigeria game, sure. If you want to say that, sure. With the France game, when they're definitely playing against the best team in the world. And by the way, they literally they could not hold a candle to Loki before. And they're somewhat being on the same field as him, being able to make these plays and do these things. I truly do think that we can't keep holding these players on these pedestals. Like even me, I kind of get caught slipping because I want to throw PXG destroyer mode run in there sometimes, but then I'm like, no, his feats are kind of outdated now because we have these people in the U20 World Cup arc that are doing these phenomenal things to, I would say, stronger versions of these players and just stronger players in general. But that is really just all I wanted to rant and talk about today, and I really hope some of you guys were kind of able to open your minds and kind of understand where I'm coming from. Even if you don't agree, I want you guys to just sit with it and kind of understand where I'm coming from, because that's usually most of the scaling and the metas that I'm going to be using. And I don't want you guys to be confused when I do that, or like be like, oh, comment and be like, oh no, U20 side does this and that and the third. I think that if you're going by the narrative scaling, even then it's like you can't give him but that much leeway, because most of his narrative scaling is pre-Nigeria game, where Ego gives him a statement that he'd give the Blue Lockers trouble. But even then, they improve past that point by layers, right? And that's pretty much all I wanted to get into today. If you guys like this video and want more content like this, Blue Lock content, I would appreciate that. And again, hey, if I'm wrong, still some hot Cheetos on my mouth, drown me with some Pepsi, and I'll be cooked, right? But I will talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.